Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be doing a review of SpeedyPainter, which is a drawing program. Now, SpeedyPainter was my first ever art program other than MS Paint. And when I first got it, I wasn't really able to find a lot of reviews or tutorials. And looking back, I still can't really. I could only find one review and the only tutorials were from the SpeedyPainter website. So I filmed this whole voiceover earlier, but I said and paused way too much, so I deleted it. And then as I was looking into SpeedyPainter more, I realized that it's just one person creating it, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I'm going to back off a little bit on the roasting. I re-downloaded it to try again, but the anti-aliasing wasn't that much better, and it wasn't that much less glitchy, so I'm going to leave it with the older speed paint, and that's just how it's going to go. I might do an update review depending on the updates that happen to it. But I'm going to start with the good things. It's very small, so it doesn't take up a lot of space on your computer. It's like 10 megabytes, I think. It has a lot of things that MS Paint doesn't, so that's always good. It has layers. It has a more intuitive color wheel than MS Paint or other things might have. It isn't too difficult to learn the interface, but because of how small it was, it also doesn't have a lot of super usable brushes. It has a round brush and it has other texture brushes. But I like to do a more painterly style, and so it doesn't work as well with styles like that. What I ended up doing was coloring by using a lot of different dots and using the color picker pretty aggressively. But as I said earlier, the line art tends to be really jaggy, so it doesn't have any anti-aliasing. You don't really get smooth lines because there's also no stabilizer. And so that can make it really difficult, and it tends, since it's a small program, it can tend to be kind of glitchy as well. So especially with the Control-Z, with the undo command, it could be difficult to do that. And they don't really have a nice soft brush. And another thing was that it didn't have a setting to lock the layer. I many times have drawn on the wrong layer and had to go back. And I think it would be really helpful to this program if they added a lock layer setting. And while I'm on the topic of layers, it would be nice if maybe you would be able to name your layers. That's not as important. Or if there were layer blending modes like multiply and soft and hard light, because those can be helpful for overlaying your sketches. You are able to make custom brushes, but the process is fairly roundabout. You have to make the brush and then put it into the SpeedyPainter folder in your computer and then restart SpeedyPainter. So if you're in the middle of drawing something and you don't save it, then you lose that in order to get the new brush. I realize, of course, that this was only made by one person, and so of course it's not going to be perfect, but I think that if you're starting out with digital art, I personally would recommend Fire Alpaca or Medibang. They have stabilizers in lots of different modes. And that's all I have. Thank you so much for watching. If you want, you can like and subscribe. If you don't want, that's totally up to you. Thanks again.